US President Donald Trump said Russia and Ukraine are very close to a deal that would end their three-year war, after his envoy met with President Vladimir Putin on Friday in talks Moscow said were constructive and very useful. A good day in talks and meetings with Russia and Ukraine. They are very close to a deal, and the two sides should now meet, at very high levels, to finish it off, Trump wrote on Truth Social after landing in Rome for the funeral of Pope Francis. Kiev and Moscow have not met directly since the early weeks of Moscow's February 2022 invasion of its smaller neighbor. Any direct talks would likely require further discussion and add delay to the diplomacy the Trump White House has hoped will yield results in a matter of days. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff spent 3 hours meeting with Putin at the Kremlin on Friday, Russian presidential aide Yuri Ushakov told reporters after the meeting, adding that the talks were constructive and very useful. Witkoff's trip to Russia, his fourth since Trump returned to the White House in January, came at a crunch time. The U.S. president's self-imposed deadline to end the war within his administration's first 100 days is nearing. This conversation allowed the Russian and U.S. positions to be further brought closer together, not only on Ukraine, but also on a number of other international issues, Ushakov told reporters in a call. Ushakov, a former Russian ambassador to Washington, was part of the meeting with Putin, as was Russian negotiator Kirill Dmitriev. Russian state news agency TASS said a European official familiar with the different drafts said the Ukrainian and European proposal envisaged a ceasefire followed by discussions about territory, with Kiev receiving defense guarantees from its allies along the lines of those found in NATO's Article 5. Witkoff's version proposed the recognition of Crimea as Russian by the United States, robust security guarantees for Ukraine, Kiev not joining NATO and sanctions against Russia being lifted, the official said. Recognizing Russian control of Crimea, the southern Ukrainian peninsula Moscow illegally annexed in 2014, would cross a major red line for Ukraine and its European allies, and would be in breach of established international law. It would also reverse around a decade of U.S. foreign policy. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky rejected the idea, saying there was nothing to talk about as such a recognition would be against Ukraine's constitution. The United States has been applying more pressure on Ukraine after threatening last week it could walk away from the talks within days if it becomes clear a deal cannot be reached.